Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Pete Street Fright Nights. Another video here. Yes, sir. We got some good stories going on right now.
Yeah.
So we got a couple stories. Some of the people from the Facebook podcast site send us some. Also, we're gonna talk about maybe some dreams that we've had. You know, because everybody has dreams, and a lot of times you kind of like dream some scary stuff as well. We got a couple of dream stories we're going to tell you. Also, shout out to everybody that's been liking all our videos. We're doing a hell of a job on that YouTube channel, right?
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, shout out to everybody leaves the comments.
Yeah, for sure.
And, man, we're doing pretty good, and appreciate that support.
I got you in them comments.
That's right.
I don't know if you've been reading them, but someone on there talking smack. I got you.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Talking about that dude in the cowboy hat can't box.
Oh, that's right.
I got you, Harv. Hey, I didn't hear you say your name.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry about that. Your boy, Mr. Loa.
And Pistol Pete, man. And we're Pete Street.
That's right.
Yeah. It's a good one. I'm ready for a Fright Night. Fright
Nights, man.
It's always cool. You know, the conversations we had before,
that's right.
Gets us in the spirit. You know,
that's right.
It's good stuff. Scary stuff.
Hell
I wish we could say everything we say off camera. Ooh.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because we got a lot more stories. Hell yeah.
Man, I kind of want to say this story. It's almost like a dream.
Okay.
But it's all tied together. Okay, so growing up, I stayed at my cousin's a lot, and there was this picture of it was a religious picture, right?
Oh, okay.
And it was big, like probably like the size of this, but it was portrait or landscape, whatever, up and down, not.
Oh, okay.
Right,
okay.
but it was just the face, right? And when I was a young kid, man, when you walked into this house, that was the first thing you could see, right? And it was gigantic, right in your face, you know. And I used to have these dreams about it, and kind of spooky dreams, right? Like
right.
For whatever reason, that face would warp and it would turn into Freddy Krueger.
Oh,
right,
man,
and then he would chase me, you know, around Barstow. And it was those, you know, I can't run, I'm stuck. And when I'm fighting them, you know, I know I'm hitting them, but it doesn't hurt them, stuff like that. But I had that dream, man, a shitload of times. A bunch of times, right, while I was staying in Barstow at this house. Okay, now fast forward to adulthood, right? That picture was still in the house, and it was, man, I want to say it was like either Thanksgiving or Christmas, you know. They sent us a picture, right? and that portrait was, you know, in a different spot of the house now, but it was just hanging back there, and that, all right, it was a picture of Jesus, right? And it was just his face, right, with the crown of thorns, right? And he's, you know, got blood on his face and stuff, right? And well, this picture that they sent us, like when you're looking at the face, right, one eye, or Jesus has two eyes, right? But just to the side of him, the eye of Jesus, there was another eye, right? And it made a whole different face. And it was like an evil, scary looking face, man. When I saw the picture, I was freaking out, right? And when they sent it to me, you know, they didn't send it to me because of the Jesus picture. They sent it to me just like, hey, you know, we'll see y'all in a minute, right? Family time. It
just showed up.
And then that picture was in the background. That was the picture that I used to be scared of as a kid, right?
Man.
So I messaged him back like, dude, what's that face, right? And he's like, what are you talking about? And I told him, he's like, holy crap, man. And it was an evil face, like demonic.
Like smiling?
Weird, crazy looking smile with big old teeth and stuff, you know. And it was, man, it just freaked me out.
Man, anybody, dude. Imagine you have that as a kid, right? And then, like, later on you see it again.
Yeah.
And it just confirms your thoughts. Like, I thought it, but what the? You know what I mean? It's a reality now. I wasn't crazy. You know,
it messed me up. It messed me up to see the picture.
Hell yeah, shit. I had a couple. I actually have a good Jesus dream that I had, but I'll leave that to the end. But I had heard a lot of stories about Toya, right?
Already.
Yeah. So when I got into the oil field, you know, like when you run into older people, man, you get that. You start having conversations with people, and you start asking, like, hey, man, you've been out here how long? Oh, man, I've worked here since the 80s, 70s. So you start asking questions. Hey, man, you ever see anything? Right? So this one time I was talking to this old cat, man, and he told me a story about over there in Toya where he was driving one of those leases, man, at night. But it wasn't really him. I guess it had happened to a driver from a company, but it was a female driver.
Okay.
Because they had told him the story. Supposedly, it was raining. She was coming down a lease road. And usually, you know how those leases get real slick and muddy, right? Mm-hmm. So she was driving the 18-wheeler at night, supposedly. And they said she freaked out because she saw an Indian lady with a little baby walking on the side of the road, like on the lease road. You know what I mean? And that she didn't think anything of it. Like she was like, she just thought maybe it's like somebody got stranded out here or whatever. You know, they need help. So she still slowed down because she was driving an 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
And when she saw, when she looked out the window, they didn't have a face. It was just black. No. So she saw that and just stepped on it, man. And when she was trying to haul at, I guess, like down that road, she lost control and slided into like a ditch and got stuck there, man.
No.
And she started freaking out because she's thinking they're going to show up on my window.
Yeah,
they're
coming. Yeah.
So she started making phone calls. They had to go get her and take her out, man. She quit on the spot.
Yeah, bad.
From what he said, right?
Yeah.
So, man, think about that. When you hear certain stories like that, you're out there in the field and sometimes you have to work late.
Especially in the area, huh?
That thoughts, they go through your mind, bro. Yeah. Like, what would I do if I saw that?
Yeah, for real.
Oh, man, that was crazy.
Do you think that maybe sometimes our mind plays tricks on us?
I think so.
We think it so much, and
I think so because
we make it real.
I think so because our mind is like powerful, man. It's like the greatest computer ever created, I guess.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, sometimes like if you like, have you ever had a situation where like you think you're sick, but you're really not, but you make yourself feel sick?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think like if you think hard enough, I'm gonna see something. I think your mind will start.
You start
seeing certain things, bro.
Yeah, no
or like,
kidding.
have you ever had a thought? There's people that say like, supposedly our mind's always trying to put a face to everything. You know, like you see a cloud, hey, it looks like a face. Yeah. You see a tree, and hey, it looks like a face.
Man, there's actually a term for that.
Is there?
Yeah, there's a term they call these. They say these people are, and it's this term, and it's like your mind makes a face out of any object, and there's like an actual. So I used to freak out like on the drilling rig, and I would tell the guys like, when the face gets right here, that's when you're gonna, lean out with the pipe and stuff. And they're like, what face are you talking about? I was like, well, look, the blocks, it looks like a face. There's two eyes right there, and they're like,
well, what about?
I don't see it, man.
Yo, man, have you ever been driving at night and the back of cars or like 18-wheelers kind of look like that?
Yeah,
I've seen that, right? Like the back lights and there's the middle. You kind of that kind of looks like a face.
Like a big old smile.
Yeah,
sometimes
like
light. Yeah.
What? Like I wonder, like, is that intentional?
I think so.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
man,
hope it is anyways, because I see them all the time.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I thought I was the only one. Transformer right there. Oh, man. Nah, but yeah, man, like I said, I have another one as well.
In Toya?
Yeah, it happened to me, man.
To yourself?
What happened to me? Yeah, that was this is a personal story, man, where like we were hauling water from a production tank, but it was like a single tank.
Okay.
And they're flowing into it for some reason. We just got the job, and they're like, hey, well, they need 2 trucks out there. So we went out there, and I remember one of the drivers, I thought he was messing with me because, like I said, I had to work night shift sometimes.
Yeah.
And so, but you know how it is, man. Oh, vas a ver la Llorona. Mm-hmm. Be careful with la Llorona. I'm like, bro, really, man? You're really going to start putting that in my head? Like I need that right now, right? So when we were on location, he was loading, and I showed up, and he was fixing to be done. But it was like, this was a couple of years ago, maybe like, I would say like 12 years.
Okay.
So if anybody out there remembers, like nowadays, well, there's a lot of like LED lights out there.
Yeah.
There's like, back then, man, it was pitch black dark. You were in the middle of nowhere with no light. All you had was a little flashlight on your hard hat or a little hand flashlight. Mm-hmm. Right? So he left, so I would turn on every light in my truck. If I had some lights up there, I'd turn them on, and the light in my hand. And he told me, he's like, hey, man, I don't want to scare you or nothing, but just letting you know, bro, like.
I don't want to scare you, but I'm going to scare you.
Yeah, pretty much, right? And he was like, but they say here on the location, man, that you hear stuff. They hear footsteps. They hear people whistle at you. Just don't freak out, right? And I'm like, that's like the last thing you should have told me, bro. You know what I mean? You should have just let me figure that out on my own, right? So now I'm like, don't leave. Like, wait for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I mean, like, because he couldn't, bro. The water was coming in. We had to haul it out, and we had to get on it. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, bro, it's fine, whatever. So I just like, nah, I'll be all right. So on that location, they wanted us to gauge the tank, get the top and bottom out of every load. Not like now with this computerized. Nah, just pull it. You know, they got all the readings now. But
they'll take it.
Back then, it was you have to gauge it. We need the top level and the bottom level every load. So I was doing that. I went up, got my top, came down, opened the valve, started loading. And when I got done, I was fixing to go back up to get my bottom gauge.
Oh, right.
So he comes and looks at the ticket. That would help him not go up because he'd go off that if it was close. But on that one, I think it was like he tried to like average it.
Yeah.
Get close enough.
Yeah.
But depending on how many barrels it was making an hour.
Okay.
So you can calculate the drive, you know. And when I was going back up, bro, to go get my bottom, man, I just felt somebody got me from the back of my shirt and just pulled down. Like I felt it. Like when I felt it, I just kind of like I grabbed myself by the rail, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't just feel that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so in my mind, I was like trying to make excuses so I wouldn't freak out. I was like, you know what? My shirt got caught on the rail.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure,
that's what it was. My shirt, it ain't got caught. So I went up there and I was like, it's whatever. Come down all happy, you know, like trying to ignore it. But in my like inside, I was like, oh my God, what the hell was that?
Cold as ice.
Yeah, like what the hell was that?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh yeah, 5 more barrels. And I'm sitting there rocking, and like, yeah.
I'm almost
yeah.
there.
Oh, it's done. I get in the truck. Oh my God, what the? You know, like I'm over here freaking out, bro. So I tell the dude on the radio because we have radios, right? Like, hey man, you're not gonna believe me. He's like, what happened? And I told him, and he was like, man, just wait for me. I'm like, nah, you didn't wait for me.
Yeah, your turn.
You get your ass over there and see what happens to you. So I went and unloaded, man. And after that, like, I told him, man, just slow down, bro. Like I just felt that, man. But it probably is in my mind because you told me.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, man. I mean, they say, man, but I don't know. I'm like, well, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to make excuses right now. But I really felt somebody tuck my shirt, bro. And I felt it because it went like this.
Yeah.
You know, when the collar goes back.
Yeah.
And it kind of choked me. So I felt that, bro.
Uh-huh.
I really did feel it. And after that, and like, I think we did stay on that battery for maybe like a week. But that was the only time I got to go.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, man.
Thank God, right?
Yeah, I was like, please don't dispatch me over there,
I
man.
don't want this place.
Yeah, for real, man. Because there's some weird stuff out there, man. You know.
Definitely.
There's some weird stuff out there.
Especially out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh,
How much? I always freak out when I'm out there. Like, man, this place used to never look like this. Like, what did it look like back in the day?
Back in the day?
You know, before all this electricity, before even lease roads, right? Like, what did this place look like?
Exactly.
What happened out here, right? Like,
right.
Some crazy shit.
Who lived out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Did somebody camp here, you know, a long time ago because they were passing through and
That's right.
we got to stop, right? But, man, where I work right now, there was this, so before I say this thing, inside our office,
right,
there's those black tool cabinets.
Right.
Now, when I started working there, it was broken, like the handle wouldn't lock. You know, the doors would just be open all the time, and depending on the wind, you know, they would open more and stuff, and that shit would get annoying to me. Like I wanted everything to be nice in its place, so I went and bought little screws and different things, and I little pieces of metal to keep them closed, right, and where the handle would work and everything, right. and yep, you know, the handle works. It's locked. It's open. Open the doors up. Close it. Turn the handle. It ain't. If you pull it, it ain't moving. Right. That sucker's closed. Right. Well, so I fixed it. Before I fixed it, one of the operators that was out there, he would always tell me like, "Yeah, man, this place is haunted." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, it's haunted, man." And I was like, all right, you know, it's just a trailer. It's a new trailer. It's not even an old building or nothing, right?
Just trying to make it.
Yeah, this place is 5 years old, right? Or not at the time. It was like 2 years old, right? So yeah, sure, it's haunted, bro. And all the stuff that happened out
here.
It.
Yeah, it's haunted, bro.
Well, so he used to say he was Indian, he was Puerto Rican. This guy was he was a big old mentiroso, though, right? So I couldn't really believe all his shit. But anyways, man, so he used to, like, I used to get there, you know, 5:30 in the morning to relieve him, and where the heck is this guy, right? And his car would be kind of far off, and I'd go over there. Hey, you all right, man? And he's like, oh yeah, man. It's just the ghost was mad last night, so I didn't want to stay in the trailer. And I was like, what do you mean the ghost? Like, yeah, he was pretty mad, and I kind of got him in the back room, and I closed the door, so he's back there, but I didn't want to go inside just in case. Like,
what?
All right, man. You know, and I go in there, like, turn the lights on, open the doors, like, okay, well, I'm working. And I would just say it just because I'm here, I'm working, let's go. Right, get my refrigerator and everything. I have my food and stuff, you know. And when I started working nights out there, like one night, you know, and this is already, I fixed this cabinet, right? And I got to a point where I was comfortable out there now. Like I learned the system. It was easy. I knew what to look for.
Right.
So, man, I guess I'm just gonna watch a movie tonight, right? So I got my stuff set up with the DVD player on, and I was sitting there just watching a movie. And all of a sudden, man, just and this was so when I get there at 5:30 in the afternoon to relieve this guy, he's like, "Yeah, man, there's another one of those days, man. That ghost was all mad today and whatever, right? Whatever, right?" Fuck. Well, man, I'm sitting there, just sitting down watching this movie, and just boom!
Oh shit!
And I sat up and I looked to that kitchen area, right, and the fucking cabinets was just shaking, like open and closed, like
like somebody had slammed.
Like somebody fucking slammed them open, and they were just fucking wobbly there, and I was like,
"What was that?"
And I was like, "What was that?"
Yeah.
And maybe it is haunted, right? And I was like, "Hey, man, I'm just watching the movie. Like, you don't gotta worry about me, right?" And I just kind of just sat there.
Just fast forward.
Just kept looking. Yeah, I just kept looking. You know, my eye was just, man. I hope I don't see nothing move. Right?
Yeah, man.
That would have freaked me out. I didn't even get up. I didn't even go in there. I just left everything the way it was. Waited for dude to show up, and I was like, "You know what? Yeah,
you're
and
right."
He's like, "What do you mean? Yeah, just yeah, bro. I gotta go. I'm out of here."
Yeah, man. Oh hell no, man.
That shit freaked me out.
I've heard that before. Something similar like slamming.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I'm asleep or awake. But I hear out like a door, bam.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I didn't know like where that was coming from. You know. Huh?
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So I heard it, man. Like I said, I thought maybe I was asleep, but I heard like a door slam, like a metal door. You know what a metal door hits? It's like bam.
It's solid.
Yeah, like that, man. So I didn't think nothing of it, man. But I've heard something similar like that. Another time it happened. Actually, my grandfather got up because he was kind of freaking out. Because I was staying at my grandma's and it was in the room I was sleeping in.
Okay.
He heard it too, and he got up to go look. And I had some speakers, like a surround sound speakers, hanging on my wall, the little small, like gray ones.
Yep.
And he heard it, bro. And I was like, I had gone to the bathroom, laid down, and I was fixing to go to sleep, and I heard it again. So I kind of like opened my eyes. Then I saw my grandfather standing at the door, right? And he's like, "Hey, ¿qué pasó? ¿Qué fue eso?" And my speaker was hanging. Like somebody had grabbed it and
threw it
at the wall, and then it stayed hanging. Because they had a little hook, like a little like hole where you could stick it in.
The nail and all that.
Yeah. Yep. So I was like, it was more, but it was like you said, it was like this.
Yeah.
Just balancing on the cord, and I was like, I didn't do that.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell was that? You know, my kids also at the house, they heard a lot of knocking on doors. They stay up on their phones, you know, like kids do nowadays.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, you know, I'm an old cat, so 9, 10 o'clock, I'm already snoring.
I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm tired. And they'll come wake me up. Dad. What? Somebody's knocking on the back door. It's the air, mijo. Don't worry about it. No. Because they'll be in the kitchen, you know, watching videos. And I go, check, man. No, I'll open the door. No, nobody's here, mijo. I swear we heard knocking. So I know that house. Something's up, man. I don't know the history of that house.
Yeah.
But
there's
something going on there, man. You know, my grandmother, I think, took the priest like 4 times already.
Yeah.
And it just comes out for a bit and then picks up again. So I know there's got to be something, man.
Man, talking about sleeping and stuff, right? My girl, she kind of freaks out on me sometimes. Like, even to this day, it still happens to me. But I'll be there and I wake up, right? Like, I'm talking to her, right? I think I'm coherent, right? I'm telling her, like, babe, I'm awake right now, all right? And she's like, no, babe, you're asleep. I'm like, no, babe. Like, I'm awake right now. I'm telling you I'm awake, right? But there'll be like a spider or a couple spiders like on the curtains or something and crawling behind the curtain, and I get up, you know, and I'm trying to find the spider. Like, you didn't see the spider? She's like, babe, you're asleep. I was like, no, I'm not asleep. Like, I know I saw it, and I could feel like it's real. I've done that. And it freaks me out.
But I see it like if I'm on my phone and I can see like something crawl. And I look and nothing there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? It looked like a little bug.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
but it'll be a big old spider, you know, coming down from the wall, and then she's like, babe, you're asleep. I'm like, no, I'm not, babe. What? Quit saying I'm asleep. I know I'm awake, right? And I mean, I'm I don't go back to sleep. Like it's not like I see this and then I just okay, right? But
Yeah.
like I'm awake. Like my heart's pounding. Like I freaking see that,
bro. I had some crazy dreams. I had some crazy dreams where like I've actually one time experienced, bro. To be honest with you, like they call it lucid dreaming. Like,
yeah.
Where you're actually out of your body, and I guess I don't know if it's another dimension, but I fell asleep on the couch.
Okay.
Right, and I was watching TV, and I remember I fell asleep, and I remember, bro, just kind of like waking up, but I sat up. Right, and when I sat up, I remember I was standing there, and I'm like, it felt weird. You know what it felt like? It felt like I was kind of floating, but it felt like I was underwater. It was weird. Like I was standing there, but it felt like I was kind of like floating, but it felt like water or some kind of liquid. But I was like out of my body. I remember I looked, and I could see myself there just with my mouth open, like my head back and snoring.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what?
Do I really look like that?
Yeah, I was like, yo, what's going on? Like, I thought, am I dead? Right? That's the first thing that came in my head. Am I dead? Like, whoa. But I was like, man, I can see my hands.
Yeah.
Everything like normal. I was like, yo, what the hell's going on? And I remember like, when I would talk, it sounded like if I was talking underwater, like, bro, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I would say something and it would kind of like feel like bubbles, like, you know, like you were talking underwater. You know, I've seen movies how they talk and it sounds like they're like echoing, but like it carries a wave.
Right.
Like that, man. And I was like, whoa, what's going on? Like, I was all tripping out. And out of nowhere, man, I just heard I started getting loud. You know what that reminded me of right away from the movie Ghost? When that guy dies and those spirits are coming for just like that, bro.
Yeah.
So I got scared, you know, because I was like, yo, what is that? And I saw this like black hooded, it looked like it was wearing a monk's hood.
Okay, yeah.
You know, those black ones? But it was slowly moving from the kitchen. And you know, at my grandma's house, how we have that open area.
Yeah.
Walking across like that, it's straight into the entrance of the living room.
Yeah.
I was scared, dude, but I was conscious, like I said. And I could see, like, he was standing there, and it would look like he was trying to walk towards me. But like I said, at that time, I was real close to God. You know, like praying. I would pray every night. And what I started doing, I started praying. I started praising God.
Yep.
And it seemed that every time I tried to take a step forward and I would say the name of Jesus, because I was like, in Jesus' name, I bind you. In Jesus' name, stay back.
Yep.
And every time I would take a step, I was taking another step back. Like it was stopping him.
Yeah.
And I remember I started telling him, like, you know, in the name of Jesus, I want you out of this house. You're not welcome here. Leave now.
Yeah.
And like, it would take 2 steps back, and then I would stop saying what I was saying and start walking to me again.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, I was freaking out, man. And out of nowhere, I just remember seeing this bright little, like tiny little white light, and then it just went poof, and I woke up.
Yeah.
And I was like, what was that, man?
Yeah.
Like, and I got up, dude, and I was like, I went to the kitchen trying to see if I could see that, whatever the hell it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
all sweaty.
Yeah, bro. I was like, did I just die? Like, what was that? Like, dude, I know. Like, what? So then I went to my room, went and laid down, dude, and I just laid there like for an hour, just stared at the ceiling, like trying to think what I had just experienced.
Yeah.
But later on, like I said, I didn't know what that was called. So like later on, I heard a video on YouTube about lucid dreaming, meaning like you're able to get out of your body, move around, and do stuff, and it feels like you're awake, but you're not.
Yeah.
You can actually see your body there.
And I've been seeing all these videos, man. So if you're aware, right, you're aware that you're dreaming, right, and there's people around you, ask them, what time is it and what's today?
The date.
Yeah, what's the date and what time is it?
Oh, I didn't know about that.
And
but you know what?
Apparently, they're supposed to freak out on you.
Because they're not supposed to be there.
You're not supposed to be there. You're not supposed to be aware.
Time traveler.
Let's go.
Well, check it out, bro. I heard too that a lot of people, they call that in Mexico, se te sube el muerto.
Okay.
That's pretty much what it is. Like, I don't know if you guys out there, have you ever had a dream where like you're awake and you can feel your hand here, but your hand's really here? They call it se estuvo el muerto. So pretty much it's like you woke up, but you're stuck in a dream and reality.
Yeah.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
So you're like, you can't move, but you know you're awake. And then like you're like, I can move my hand.
Like
and you move it. And like a pesadilla kind of. So you move your hand, you feel your fingers here, but you look and your arm is here the whole time.
Yeah.
That's your spirit.
Yeah.
It's over here, but your hand's over here, you know?
Hey, here's some little funny that happened to me, right? So I was working on a drilling rig, and they're like, okay, guys, we have this much to do. If y'all finish all this, then y'all can just chill until 6 o'clock when it's time to go home. Right? So when I heard that, man, I took off, started doing everything, knocking shit out the park, right? Let's go, finishing up, man. And we finished about 2 a.m. They're like, all right, well, go to the car and just relax until 6, right? And I was like, heck yeah. So I went to the car, and the coworker was in there with me, and he was in the passenger seat, and I leaned back, man, and I fell asleep, and I woke up, and I was like, oh, I stretched, right? And I was like, what the heck? And I looked over, and I couldn't see my arm. Like, my arm was gone, and I couldn't feel it. I couldn't move, and I was like, what the hell? And I was, feeling as my arm is gone. Right. Man, bro, I fell asleep with it up. So it went to sleep, and it got all numb. I didn't feel
You couldn't feel it.
That scared the hell out of me.
Shit, dude, that's funny.
Hey, I want to go to our chat.
Okay, yeah, go ahead,
Right,
let's
just
go.
Miss Angela Newman, I believe is what her name is.
Okay,
Right,
shout out.
Shout out. She left us a topic. It's one of her stories, man, and it's kind of interesting, kind of scary, right? So she says, Angela says, I used to work in a steel mill where a handful of people were killed back in the day. I saw a few ghosts and even picked a guy out of a book that I had a conversation with, only to find out that he was dead. I could even, yeah, right. She says I could even smell the cigar he was smoking.
Oh,
ain't that a trip?
That's a
Talked
trip,
to somebody and everything, and man, this guy's been dead for years.
Wow.
Right? So the worst time when I was using the service elevator to start my rounds on the 6th floor, instead of taking the stairs, and it wouldn't let me out. Like, she was stuck in the elevator with this thing. Right, so I pressed 6, and it went. But before I could open the door, it went back down to 1. Right, so it took her up to 6, and it said nope, and it took her back down to 1. Yeah, and so she
what?
She said, and I tried to open it again, and then at that time it went down to the 3rd floor. Right, but she wasn't pressing the buttons. Right, it was just taking her there.
So it was just moving on its own.
Yeah, on its own. And she said back to 1 again, and back to 6, and she said I didn't have a radio or my phone on me. I dropped to my knees and cried and prayed. She said, girl, I'll be praying too.
Hell yeah.
It'd be freaking me out. All right, so finally, after about 10 minutes of this, it stopped all the way on the 1st floor, and the guys say that I was being haunted by a safety ghost.
It was fucking with her.
Yeah, it just messing with
her.
Fuck
Fuck that shit.
So shaking my head, right? I should invite my daughter so she could tell you about the one who always stood in her doorway staring at her, or when our old dog Fred would walk across her house after he passed away. No. Well, get your daughter on here, Miss Angela. We'll take her story.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. I didn't. That's weird.
Freaky.
How? So that guy was just going pressing buttons up and down, up and down, up and down.
Wouldn't let her out. That's for sure.
Dude, that's crazy. I'm trying to analyze in my head, like, how would I react? I'd probably be screaming my ass off.
I think I would scream.
I would be screaming like, "What's going on?
Let me out of here!"
Yeah, like. It might be in punk.
Yeah,
it might be in punk.
Where's Ashton at?
Yeah. Shit, I would have been. Fuck that, dude. That's scary. That is scary right there, man. Being stuck and you can't get out. That'd be like a lot of people are scared of that. What do you call that when you're in a confined space?
Yeah, claustrophobia.
Yeah, and if she had that, can you imagine?
Oh yeah, make it even worse, huh?
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh hell no. So yeah, that's a good story. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, for real.
Appreciate that. Hey guys. Like I said, you guys on that group chat, share your stories, man. Don't be shy. We're not going to judge you on it.
If you don't want us to say your name, just put on there. Don't say my name.
Yeah, anonymous. Right? Yeah, there you go. It's we want that interaction with you guys. You're part of the Petrie family, and we want to share your stories just like we share ours. Yeah. Don't be shy, man. It's all cool. We're all family. It's all good. I have one, man, but it's not really scary. It's more like I had a dream about Jesus, man. I don't know if anybody out there has had like we're talking about like scary dreams, but I know people also have had like pretty interesting happy dreams, I guess you could say, right? Like this will be probably like the light in the darkness. But I had a dream about Jesus, man. Like when I was going through a lot of stuff, when I was maybe about 8 years ago, you know.
All right.
And this dream, man, it was crazy because I've had many visions, like in my dreams, about the end of the world.
Okay.
You know, I've seen like the water full of water, and there's a lot of people that I love are gone. You know, different scenarios every time. So this one, man, I found myself walking down a beach, and at that moment, nobody was there. It was just me. I was walking down the beach, and something kept telling me that everybody that I loved, everybody that I knew was gone. Like the world was over, and that was it. So I didn't know where I was. I was just walking. And out of nowhere, man, up ahead, I saw a lady facing the ocean. Because like the ocean was right there.
Yep.
And but the crazy thing about it was that she was on her knees facing the ocean. She was wearing a black dress with a black veil in her face. And she was sobbing.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like, when I heard her, I didn't freak out. I was just kind of, like, wondering why she was sobbing, right? So I walked up to her, and I kind of put my hand on her right shoulder. And I was asking her, what's the matter? And I, well, you're right, man. What's wrong? And she kept saying, like, my son's dead. My only son is dead, right? And I looked at her, and I was like, well, I never saw her face. Like I said, I was facing her from the side. And I told her, you know what, ma'am? Trust in the Lord. He only knows why he does what he does. And at that moment when I said that, bro, it felt like somebody had gone like 20-foot tall speakers, put them next to my ears and tune up the volume and just press play on something. It just this bursting loudness of like music. And y'all came out at once. So like I thought my head was gonna explode because it was so loud, but it was so beautiful at the same time, because what it sounded like was like a gigantic choir of people like singing Hallelujah, 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 non-stop. And I could tell it was a lot of people. But when they were singing, they sounded like it was just one. It was all in tune. And so I started like turning around, like trying to see where it was coming from. I was looking up around me, like, where's it coming from, right? It was so loud that she stood up and stopped crying and was like, what is that? And I was like, yeah, what is that? Where's it coming from? So I'm looking around, like in the sky, trying to see if maybe the sky had opened up and there was heaven, right? Because they sounded like angels, bro. I was like, but it was the most beautiful song I've ever heard. But it was just the chanting over and over, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Like, it was beautiful, bro. At that moment, I never realized, but when I looked back down, that's when there was more people there on the beach. At first, it was just me. Mm-hmm. I saw there was more people, and I was like, where'd they come from, right? So she asked me again, hey, do you see anything? I'm like, no, I'm still looking. So I'm looking. Finally, I look back down again. Now there's more people there again. Before I knew it, like where I was standing looking forward, there was tons of people now. And they were all looking at this mountain that I hadn't seen before. Now it was there.
Yeah.
So I'm staring at the mountain like, yo, what's going on, man? Like, what's really going on? Right? And out of nowhere, bro, I started seeing from far away, people started jumping up and down. And I'm like, what's going on? And it started looking like a wave. You know, they just, little by little, everybody started doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, what's going on? And then when I see what they're doing, I see that they both have their hands like this, like one layered upon the other one. Mm-hmm. And they're putting it to their chest. And they were just jumping up and down. But they all looked happy, full of joy. And I was like, what's going on, right? Like, I was like, lost for words, because I was like, yo, what is going on, man?
Yeah, really?
Because I could still hear like nonstop. So you imagine hearing that, then seeing what's going on, and you're like, but I'm not, like, I'm just normal. Mm-hmm. Everybody else, it seems like something's going on, but I'm not part of it.
Yeah.
I don't know where the lady next to me that was sobbing says, "Do you feel it?" And I'm like, "Feel what?" And she's like, "You don't feel it?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? What are you feeling?" She's like, you don't feel it?" I'm like, "No, I don't feel it. What do you feel?" And then she put her hands on her chest and she's like, "Oh my, I can't believe it." And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "What is going on?" Like, I'm like, everybody is jumping except for me. I'm normal. Like, so out of nowhere, man, I noticed that from the front row, I guess you could say the front row, as people were jumping, I started seeing there was somebody that was walking between the rows, slowly, like, moving his way towards me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who is that? I don't see in movies how they show people, like, walking the street and that one person's, like, focused on. Focus, yeah. And they stand out, right? Yep. And when they're walking. Mm-hmm. Same scenario, bro. And I'm, like, seeing this person walk, bro. And he was wearing, like, a... What do you call that? Like a... What would Jesus wear? Is that long...
I don't know. Robes?
Like a robe, right?
Yeah.
And then he had that cover on his head. Mm-hmm. Right? Okay. Just like that. And all I could see when he was walking by, he had that robe on his head. And all I could see was like this part of his, like the front part of his face. And it was from the side as he was walking. I noticed that as people were jumping up and down, I looked down and he was wearing sandals. So I was like, who is that? Like, it never clicked. I'm just seeing this person coming, like little by little, moving its way towards me. So finally, when he made it past the last couple of people, well, I was maybe about 30 yards from him, where I was standing from, because I never moved.
Yep.
I just stood there. And the girl next to me was just jumping like crazy, happy, happy, happy. And I'm just like, yo, who is that? And finally, when I got a good, like, there was nobody blocking my view, I said, that's Jesus, man. It's Jesus. And this, like, excitement came over me. But at the same time, it was like a cocktail of, like, excited, nervous, and I didn't know what to do. Like, I was just kind of, like, thinking the whole time, look at me. Please just look at me. Yeah. Like, please just look at me. Like, I'm right here. Do you see me? Like, And he wouldn't look at me. And I was like, man, he's going to leave and he's never going to see me. I'm right here. Out of nowhere, man, I was like, I'm going to call him. I'm going to call his name. And the moment I tried to, like, say, Jesus, look at me, something took, like, I wasn't allowed to talk no more. My mouth wasn't working. I couldn't talk. Like, it was just muted. So I was like, and nothing would come out. Like, I was mute. Yep. And I was like, what's going on? Because I could still hear my voice in my head. Yep. Like, how come I can hear my voice, but I can't
say his name,
push it out, right? So I started going crazy. Like, how can I get his attention? How can I get his attention? So I just kept looking at him. Then I started, like, with my mind, just saying, Jesus, please look at me. Over and over. Please look at me, Jesus. Please look at me. Please look at me. I'm right here. Please just stare at me. Just look at me. Because he looked like he was already walking away, bro. Like, he was past me. And that's it. Like, he's not going to look at me. And out of nowhere, bro, he stopped. And I just kind of like, what's he going to do? Right? Like, and I just remember, like, I can tell you, I never saw the front. I just saw the side for a little bit. I saw him grin. Like, he grinned because I saw the side of his lip where he grinned, like he heard my thoughts saying, Jesus, please look at me. Like, Jesus, please look at me. So when I finally said it one last time and he grinned, I stopped. And when he turned and looked at me, bro, I saw this burst, like, of energy, I would say, because it looked like, I don't know if you guys in West Texas, man, when you see the hot sun beating off the road, you see those waves, the heat waves, see? Kind of like that. Something like that. With like a gust of wind, but it wasn't wind, it was like energy, like that. It shot at me like a cannon, bro, coming from him. To literally, it hit me and it went through me to the point where it knocked my hair out. when it hit me, I was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like, it felt like heat. But it was like, it went through me, hit me like a sonic boom, you could say. Just boom. You know, it just hit me so hard that I was like, oh, like, I didn't expect it. And I don't know, at the same time, the bottom of my feet started feeling like they were burning. And it started moving from the bottom of my feet. It was moving like something like energy force started moving up past my calves, then my thighs, then my stomach, then my chest, till it completely consumed me. Once it went above my head, that I was screaming like, because it was burning, bro. It was burning me. I didn't know what it was. I was just like, you know, like, because I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So when it got past my head, out of nowhere, this cool sensation just came over me. And when it came over me, man, I was like, whoa, what happened? Like, I don't know, it doesn't hurt no more. Mm-hmm. And he was just looking at me, smiling, bro, the whole time. And he didn't say nothing to me, he just kept smiling at me. And I'm looking at him, and I started smiling back because I was, like, excited that he was looking at me, right? And out of nowhere, dude, my heart felt like it was turned on. It's just little by little, just boom, 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 like it just, like he just started the engine, bro. You know, like it just started revving up, like you wouldn't believe it, to the point where I literally felt like my heart was gonna jump out of my chest. Now I know why those people have both their hands holding it on their chest, because it felt like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whoa, my heart's gonna jump out of my chest. At the same time that was happening, this sensation of happiness, joy, it just out of nowhere started consuming me to the point where I couldn't control myself.
You start jumping?
Jumping.
Yeah.
I started jumping with joy, and I was like, oh my. Like, the girl's like, you feel it now? I'm like, yeah. Like, I was excited, bro. Like, yes, I know how much he loves me. Like, oh my, I can't believe it. Like, it was an overwhelming sensation of love that even right now as I'm talking, it's not good enough as a description. Like, it was overwhelming, bro, like, unconditional, but I didn't control that. It controlled me. It consumed me.
Yeah.
Like, it took a hold of me, and I could not stop. It was actually controlling me, right, in every way. And so when that was happening, I looked at that girl that was crying right before, that lady, and I tell her, like, I know now. Like, I know how much he loves me. Like, wow. Like, I get it, right? I get it now. Like, so at the same time, bro, I started feeling like I was waking up. And I'm like, oh, man, I'm dreaming.
No.
I'm like, I'm dreaming, man. But I remember I was saying, like, leave me here. Don't send me back. I'm already here. Let me stay.
Yeah.
But I started, everything started getting blurry, but I could still hear the angels, bro. Mm-hmm. So the angels were singing as this is happening and everything. It was like beautiful. Yes. So when I finally start feeling myself waking up, I'm like, man, please, God, like, let me stay here, man. Because if you send me back, I don't think I'm going to make it back. You know, because, you know, being a sinner and all, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm already here, so just let me stay, you know. You send me back, bro. I don't think I'm going to come back. But, you know, you sent me back, like I woke up. And I could still hear the angels as I was waking up, bro. To the point where, like, when I woke up, man, I woke up my wife at the time. I was like, wake up, babe, wake up. And I go, you won't believe what I dreamt. And she was like, what do you mean? I'm like, give me your hand. And when I put her hand in my heart, she was freaking out. Yeah. Oh, my God, are you okay? You having a heart attack? I go, nah. I'm happy. Like, I still feel it, bro.
Yeah.
I was happy, bro. And I was like, I remember telling her, like, I wish I can go in my heart right now and and put it in yours so you can feel what I feel right now. Like, it was amazing.
I bet.
And she was like, what do you mean? I started telling her this, you know, the dream, right? Like, it felt so real. Like, it didn't feel like a dream, but I know it was because I woke up.
Right.
Right? So, people that I've told this story to, man, I always say this. Because there's no other way to explain that feeling. Because, like I said, I think it's like humanly impossible to describe it. Because us that know love, you know what I mean? Maybe we don't love to the fullest capacity we're capable of. We might be limited, you know what I mean?
Yep.
To love this much and we think that's all. But, man,
Yeah.
I think there's more to that.
Yeah, way more.
Way more.
Yeah.
So I tell people this, man, let's say you were to come to this earth, right? And you tell God, you know what? Don't let me feel no love. To the day I die, give it to me like an adrenaline shot. So when I cross over, I leave this earth happy. Right? And you say, my whole life, don't give me no happiness. Just the last 5 minutes. Hit me with adrenaline and I'll die with a smile on my face. I'll die a happy man, right? Or woman. You know?
Yeah.
I honestly can say it wouldn't even be 1% of what I felt.
Yeah.
Not even 1%, bro. Because his love it consumes you, bro. You don't have no control of yourself at all.
Yep.
And it was crazy because I was a grown man in my dream, and I was jumping up like if I was a little kid in Christmas.
Heck yeah.
Like I was so happy, bro. Like I was acting like a little kid.
Yeah.
Literally, bro. And it was the most beautiful thing I've ever dreamt, bro. That dream, I dreamed it about 8 years ago, and I can still remember it like if I dreamed it last night.
Yeah.
And it's not like I don't miss a beat on every detail. So that's how much of an impact it made on me, man. I've had other ones too, but that one right there, I think that one is the best one I've ever had.
Amen.
Yeah, bro.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah. So I tell you guys, man, like
Yeah.
after that, man, I got hooked. I wanted to know everything about him, bro. Started reading the Bible, getting closer. And I don't know, I just got this urge of sharing the word.
That's good. Amen.
Yeah. So now you know. But yeah, guys, like I said, if you guys got any stories, send them to us. You know, dreams, good or bad. If you wanted to share, yeah, man, we're open. We're open to any kind of dreams, stories, or anything you want to do. Shout out again to all the people that follow us. You know, your support is very
it's much appreciated.
and much appreciated, man. For real. I hope you guys go watch the Abel Mendoza video. That's a good video, man. And all of us, go watch all of them. You know, subscribe to us. Go follow us on YouTube. And like I said, Smokey couldn't be here tonight.
Yeah, he's traveling.
He's traveling, but
Yeah.
shout out to Smokey too.
He definitely would have scared you.
Oh, yeah. But anyways, guys.
You think he's wearing a mask? He's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not wearing a mask.
No.
That's his face.
Yeah. Yeah.
No te creas, Smokey.
Órale.
Yeah, but no, yeah. Thanks for joining us tonight. Man, amen.
Yeah, dude. I want to end it with a good story, guys.
Yeah, I know we're Fright night, but that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like hearing about Jesus.
Yeah. So I did it. So guys, we'll leave it there.
Yep.
Well, thank you for joining us again on the Pecos. Oime. Peace Street Podcast Friday nights,
nervous
man.
Like Smokey now.
Nah, man, my mind went somewhere else.
Fright night. There you go. Yeah.
But thank you for joining us, guys.
Yeah.
Subscribe,
Thanks
hit the
for being
like,
here.
hit that bell, so you get notifications when we put the videos up. And catch you next time.
Yep.
Mr. Loa here.
Pistol Pete.
Peace.